going to be talking about Cellar Door. Very amazing, great film. And I want to start off the bat. What inspired you, of on the script? What inspired you to, direct this film?
I have to say it hooked me from the first time I read it. I am a real sucker for like a simple, elegant through line. I love a film that has that quality of a parable, a cautionary tale. And there was something about this idea of this bereaved couple that have been through this awful tragedy and are looking to start afresh, who find themselves looking at a new town and being offered this incredible, beautiful Gothic mansion on the hill, but there's only one condition: they can never open the cellar. And I think there was something within that. There was this dark fairy tale element, this element of a folklore story that really attracted me to it. That the combination of that and the sort of contemporary setting, the way it sort of blended, as I said, the sort of the sense of the parable with this really elevated modern thriller. I found that too good to turn down.
No, I gotta say the way that you captured the essence of keeping like the mystery behind the cellar door, and not only the mystery of the cellar door, you kept the mystery of the twist in the end. It was phenomenal. And did you receive any type of challenges throughout the filming process?
That's a really good question. I think the challenges are the ones that we as filmmakers like set for ourselves, like because I really believe in empowering the audience. I always, as a viewer, I love to be on the journey with it, right? With, on the ride of the movie. And I think the thing is with Salador, like we wanted the audience to be pulled along the mystery, follow the twists and turns, but also to have that feeling that I know I love as a viewer that you get when the rug pull moment comes out and you think, oh yes, I kind of knew that was coming in the best possible way. And that's that sort of that trickle of breadcrumbs that you can put as a filmmaker, those little clues that you can give the audience to put in their clue bag, so that when we get to that reveal, to that the rug pull, the big moment, I think I love it. I love it to be a surprise, but I love it to be a surprise that's earned, that you feel as an audience that you've been on that ride and you've got that last big dip.
And I wanted to ask because as a director, I want to talk in the general sense. When there's some films that they try to hide the mystery of like the twist or the character that did XYZ thing, and sometimes it doesn't work. But in this film, you did hit it in the biggest way possible. You put so much, I would say, so much effort. That's the word I wanted to put in. There's so much effort in blaming one, then the other, then probably another one. How challenging was that for you as the director of the film? Because this is something that usually it works and sometimes it doesn't. But in Cellar Door, you did sell it. So were there any challenges for yourself to make this happen?
I mean, I have to say, I was extremely lucky to have Jordana and Scott. So, Jordana Brewster and Scott Speedman, who are just insanely talented actors, so lovely to work with, dedicated, disciplined. Like, they brought so much to it and so much relied on them. They carried so much on their shoulders because it is an intense, claustrophobic, dark thriller. Like so much is subtext, right? It's said in a look or a raised eyebrow or that moment after a conversation's finished when you linger with a character. And I think for me to be able to take those incredible performances and all the variation they gave me into the edit and to be able to have those building blocks to when you the script is fantastic. Laurie, the writer, did an unbelievable job, but I think it was having those incredible performances to be able to layer and nuance the tension, the dread, the suspicion, the deceit. That so much of that came from the brilliant performances. So, I mean, to answer your question, it was tricky. It's always difficult because you want to make sure that the misdirects for the audience feel earned, right? Like I know as a watcher, like I don't I want to be genuinely surprised and shocked, right? And you have to hide the ball a bit as a filmmaker. But when you've got Jordana and Scott and Lawrence to sort of help build that story, you're already halfway there.
And now that you mentioned the cast, you got to work with Jordana Brewster, you got to work with Scott Speedman, and as well with Lawrence Fishburne, that um actors that we have seen in many countless of films, series. How was the communication and the how was it working with them? You know, how was that working with them and the I'm trying to look for a word and I can't find it, but but how was it working with them?
It was a dream. It was an absolute dream, John. They were so lovely, and they to take Jordana first. She was so she was so hardworking. She is phenomenally talented, and I've never seen her do anything like this before. And I've followed her career. I knew she was amazing, but I the depth and dedication that she went to pull this off was unbelievable. And she can go. She has these incredible eyes, incredible eyes that can go from so warm and caring and funny to like flinty cold, like ice, like in a moment. And she was able to convey so much in those looks. She did so much emotional heavy lifting in very small, very intricate moments. She was just brilliant. And like we talked about earlier, like there are misdirects in the story. Like we sort of need other characters to sort of carry the load and carry the blame. And Scott John's Scott's character John, he's the opposite of Sarah Jordana's character. They arrive, they strike their Faustian bargain with this reclusive billionaire, and they're offered this house. And Sarah, she grows into it. She blossoms and is nurtured by the house. So her character kind of goes on this upward trajectory. Whereas John, the house is this prison. It's this weird, claustrophobic, kind of haunted, odd, uncomfortable space for him. And all of his previous transgressions are all suddenly, from the moment he arrives in the house, they all suddenly start, they all fall on him. So, he gets fired from work, he gets accused of sexual harassment, he's lying, he's cheating, he's deceitful, he comes apart at the seams. And the way that Scott did that, the way that he embraced the character, and he was we never wanted to make a melodrama. We wanted it to be subtle. We wanted it to be real. And the way he comes apart, like his sort of gradual disintegration was so brilliantly done and so brilliantly supported by Jordana. Like it was an amazing thing to be a part of. Their chemistry was amazing, kind of on and off set. And then of course, Lawrence, who is just unbelievable, like a superstar, incredible guy, and so warm and so giving, and you know, so much relied on Lawrence being this debonair, charismatic, suave, a guy that, this
Hmm.
Faustian Mephistophelian character, I should say, that we all, that sort of that devilish charm that the audience fall in love with. He seduces these guys over a sort of a boozy dinner and a night of conversation. And I think that was the thing, like to have Lawrence, to have that gravitas, that presence, that amazing voice he has, and the way he built that character, because he needed to be such an important part of the first act and then kind of haunt the movie in the way he does. And
Yeah.
oh, it was a dream. They were an amazing cast to work with.
I can imagine. And Va, I have one final question for you. If you could describe Cellar Door with one word, what would it be?
It's a great question. One word. One word. Mysterious.
I completely agree. I completely agree.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
a good question, John. That got me.
No, Vaugh, thank you very much for giving us the time to talk about Cellar Door. I hope everybody enjoys it as much as I did and keep that mysterious of this film. And I hope that one day we can get together once again and sit down about any other projects that you have in the future.
Oh, absolutely. It was a pleasure, mate. Thanks so much for your time.
No, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.